Vampire book. Oh god, I'm trying to find it before the guy comes back. Ah. Origin of the Mage Guild. I'm pretty sure all the books that he has are like out there. Oh man, he's back. Yep, he's back. Why can't I find it? Well, it must be at the library also. Oh, it's probably in here then. No, that's actually not. Is it in here? Nope. Alright, well, let's not waste time in this. We need to find the other, the guy for the main quest line. The Argonian at the corner club here in the foreign quarter. And for that, I think it's this way. Oh, this must be it. Yep. So it's an Argonian. Huleya. Huleya. I welcome you as a friend of my friend Michu, but I wish to go to my friend's bookstore, and these troublesome fools are in my way. I have tried to persuade them, but they hate my race, and I fear there will be violence. Perhaps you speak with them, but be careful and be ready. Friend's bookstore. My friend Jabasha the Khajiit has a bookstore, Jabasha's Rare Books. If you'll agree to travel together with me there, I will answer your questions, but before we go, I beg you to try to persuade these troublesome fools to leave us alone. Otherwise, I fear they will attack us the moment we go to leave. Some fools. The sight of a free Argonian offends these racist thugs. It would tarnish my Morag honor to slay them, and I don't want to trouble my friend Soralius Golmes by fighting in his club, but I must go to my friend's bookstore where we can talk in peace. If you have a way with words, perhaps you can talk to them, or if you have a way with money, they might be bought. Otherwise, I fear there must be bloodshed. Well, I'm not gonna waste 400 gold buying it Runes of Power. I can't do that. That's not going to happen. Alright, so I need to get him to his friend's bookstore. Travel together. Will you travel together with me to Jabasha's Rare Books? We'll leave through the door at the foreign quarter. Wasteworks, turn right west down the hall and across the atrium on the same level, then follow the opposite corridor west on the other side of the atrium, all the way to Jabasha's door. I must warn you, unless these troublesome fools are persuaded to behave like civilized beings, there may be fighting and killing if we try to travel together. Okay, now you should wait here for now. Are you? What the hell? Okay. So, I'm assuming the troublesome fools are these. Am I talking to you, Fetcher? No, I'm talking to the filthy lizard, so push off. What are you, some kind of filthy lizard lover? You want to give your little friend a big kiss? Oh my goodness. Crazy is curious, quite a patron of the arts. Okay, so he needs to be convinced. Alright. So in order for him to be convinced, we're gonna try Michu's charisma spell. Or touch. How does the touch one actually work? Hey look, it's one of my business. It's none of my business. Folks want to talk to a filthy lizard is their problem, not mine. Get out of here and good riddance. Alright. case cured or a Nerevarine. They're stupid, they stink, what do you expect? Nobody likes them, but they're not worth worrying about. Okay. Well... Alright, so I guess he's gonna leave us alone. I'm assuming he is also one of those people. Oh, we don't have enough for the spell. Alright, who gives a damn about filthy lizard anyway? Get out of here. We won't bother you. Alright. Look, just keep them lizards away from me and everything will be just fine. Alright, so they just don't like lizards. And what about you? Fine, it's just a filthy lizard anyway, nothing to get upset about. We'll leave him alone. Go on, get out before we change our minds. And I'm assuming you are also part of it. Good day, I'm Ariel Guiral, publican of the Black Shot Corner Club here in Quebec. We run bets, have a limited selection of goods for barter. I actually don't think that he is one of those that's gonna complain about him leaving with us. Hopefully the people downstairs are not part of the group. Alright, let's travel together. Thank you, Misha. We'll follow you to Jabash's whereabouts and we'll speak farther there. Alright, so these are people who are not going to follow us now. We avoided a fight. They probably don't have anything good anyway. Let's go to Jabasha. Morrowind's awesome AI. Come on.
Yes, Outlander.
Yes, Outlander. Alright, so I think Jabasha is all the way back here. The fuck? Yes, thank you very much. We should be free from distraction here. Now, I said I'd tell you about the Nerevarine cult, so you can report back to Chaos. And I don't know any of the 6th house cult, but I can tell you what I do know. And I don't know of any 6th house cult, but I can tell you what I do know. I see. Alright, so what about the Nerevarine cult? To understand the Nerevarine cult, you must understand the history of the Ashlanders. Nerevar means something very different to the Ashlanders from what he means to the Dunmer of the Great Houses. You should also know about the persecution of the Nerevarine and the legacy of the false incarnate, for the Nerevarine cult is at the heart of the ancient conflict between the nomadic Ashlanders and the settled Great House Dunmer. Here is a summary for Chaos, but ask your questions and I'll answer in detail. Notes from Leia has been added to your inventory. Okay. So, history of the Ashlanders. Let's see. In the first era, the nomadic Ashlanders and the settled Dunmer clan were much alike, but after the First Council and the formation of the Great Houses, Ashlanders have been steadily forced into the poorest and most hostile lands. Now the nomadic tribes look to the prophesied return of Nerevar for a restoration of their ancient rites and religious traditions. Okay. To the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders hate the house Dunmer, who have become soft and who have abandoned traditional ancestor worship for the gods of the tribunal, and the Ashlanders hate Outlanders who invade and stole their land and force them to live as subject people. A reborn Nerevar who could drive out the Outlander invaders, destroy the false worship of the tribunal, and restore the pure traditional life and faith of the nomads would be a very popular hero to the Ashlanders. Okay, what do you say about the persecution of the Nerevarine? The temple treats the Nerevarine prophecies as heresy, and the temple imprisons and executes heretics unless prevented by imperial law. But since the Nerevarine cult is hostile to the Empire does not interfere with the temple persecutions. When the temple persecutes the cult. Gosh, I can't read. Ashlanders hate the temple, and particularly the ordinators, for their ruthless treatment of Nerevarine cultists. So, let's read maybe about the Great Houses before we read about the false incarnate. In modern times, Morrowind is ruled by 5 great houses: House Lalu, House Redoran, House Savanian, House Enduril, and House Dress. Great house culture is partly defined by its roots in ancient Dunmer tribal clans, and partly by later imperial influences from other Western cultures. The Great House's culture is only one of the native Dunmer cultures of Morrowind. The other native culture, the Ashlander culture, is a nomadic barbarian culture largely untouched by imperial influences. Okay. And so what is this false incarnate? In the past, some have claimed to be the reincarnated Nerevar. The most recent is known as Peakstar, a figure of legend among the Waste tribes for the last 30 years. The temple says these false incarnates disprove the prophecies, since the false incarnates fail and come to nothing, but the mystical Nerevarine cult glorifies rather than shrinks from contradictions, citing the appearance of failed incarnates as certain proof of Nerevar's coming rebirth. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sure he's coming back. I have a feeling that he is coming back. But we'll see. False incarnate, we asked everything we had to ask. Oh, the 6th house cults. I've heard of such a thing. House Daggers was the 6th house, but in the War of the First Council, they betrayed the other great houses and were destroyed for their treason. But I've never heard of anyone worshipping them. Dagoth the ancient head of House Dagoth, is a devil of the tribunal faith, but I've never heard of anyone worshipping him either. Interesting. He's a devil. Okay. So we asked him about all this stuff. Keo says not to ask about disturbing dreams. I kind of feel like I want to ask him now. Oh my goodness. Well, he's a Morag tongue. Alright, let's do travel together. Perhaps someday, yes. For example, I would greatly wish to see the Ashlands and their peoples with my own eyes, but at present my duties to the Morag tongue do not permit me to travel. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to complete the quest for me.
Yes, honored guest.
Yes, honored guest. I've told you what I know about the Nerevarine cult. I hope Chaos finds it helpful. Is there anything else you'd like to ask about? He's got athletics, sneak, and acrobatics. Okay. Alright, let's save and I'll ask him about a disturbing dreams and see what happens. I'm sorry I don't know what you tell me these. In the old country, they set great store by dreams and omens. Store? Is that store? They set great store by dreams and omens? I don't get that. But I am an uneducated creature. Dreams mean nothing. They're just fancy's imagination. Well, I feel like he's a safe choice for his power. Like, if I were to ask anybody, he'd probably know. I mean, he knows a lot about the Nerevarine and all that stuff, so I figured, you know, maybe I could ask him about disturbing dreams. I don't think he's gonna outs me. So, hopefully he won't outs me. Alright, so this vampire book is definitely in here somewhere, but just not where we want it to be. Progressive truth. Does he have like a bedroom? Well, his bedroom is right over here, actually.
Its scent is unfamiliar.
Yeah, oh. We didn't check this chest. To the patience, the Book of Dawn and Dusk. Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not superstitious. He is not, some crazy person that if I mention the dreams, he's gonna be all like, oh my god, you need to be imprisoned, you're crazy. So I figured I would ask him. Like, I wouldn't ask the guard, definitely not. Because the guard would probably
This is
report
an
me.
honor for me.
Alright, so we spoke to him. He gave us some notes. I'd like to read the notes. They may just say a lot about what we just read, but it says, a history of the Ashlanders and Nerevarine cult. In the first year, barbaric Dunmer culture settled Dunmer clans. The great houses and nomadic Dunmer tribes like the Ashlanders were roughly equal in number and wealth under civilized peace of the Grand Council, and with the strong central authority of the temple, the economic and military power of the settled Dunmer quickly outstripped that of the nomadic Dunmer. The nomadic Dunmer were marginalized into the poorest, most hostile land, in particular into the Vanderfell wastes. For the Ashlanders, the return of a reincarnated Nerevar presents a longed-for and largely romanticized golden age of Nerevar peace, when the nomadic tribes enjoyed equality with the settled Dunmer, and before the Dunmer people had for the most part abandoned traditional ancestor worship for the autocratic theocracy of the tribunal temple. The Nerevar and the Ashlanders. This is a story of Nerevar as an Ashlander might tell it. In ancient days, the deep elves and the great hosts of outlanders from the west came to steal the land of the Dunmer. In that time, Nerevar was the great Khan and ward leader of the house people, but he honored the ancient spirits and the tribal law and became as one of us. So when Nerevar pledged upon his great ring of the ancestors, one clan under moon and star, to honor the ways of the spirits and rights of the land, all the tribes joined the house people to fight a great battle at Red Mountain. Though many Dunmer tribesmen and housemen died at Red Mountain, the Dwemer were defeated and their evil magics destroyed, and the Outlanders driven from the land. But after this great victory, the power-hungry Khans of the great houses slew Nerevar in secret, and, setting themselves up as gods, neglected Nerevar's promise to the tribes. But it is said that Nerevar will come again with his ring and cast down the false gods, and by the power of his ring will make good his promise to the tribes, to honor the spirits and drive the outsiders from the land. The persecution of the Nerevarine cult. A tribunal temple regards the mysticism and prophecy of the Nerevarine cult as primitive superstition. The Ashlander ancestor cults, and the Nerevarine in particular, have always decried the worship of living Dunmer as abominations, suspecting the unnatural lifetimes of the tribunal to be signs of profane sorcery or necromancy. Though the authoritarian and intolerant temple priesthood has always been inclined to tolerate Ashlander ancestor cult practices, they have always threatened Nerevarine claimants with death or imprisonment. And while generally tolerant of various cult worships, the Imperial Commission of the Occupation outlaws cults hostile to the Empire and the Empire, and threatens members of such cults with imprisonment or death. The ordinators are allowed a free hand when dealing with outlawed cults like the Nerevarine. So what is Peakstar? In the past, others have claimed to be the reincarnated Nerevar prophecy. The most recent is known as Peakstar, a mysterious figure who has reportedly appeared and disappeared among the waste tribes over the last 30 years. The temple notes that these false incarnate discredit the Nerevarine prophecies, singularly and illogically. The Ashlanders acknowledge a history of false claimants, calling them failed incarnates, but they regard them as proof of the validity of the prophecies, rather than contradiction. Among the Nerevarine, there is a fable of a cavern of the incarnates, where the spirits of the failed incarnates dwell. The Nerevarine cult is a mystical cult, and it glorifies rather than shrinks from contradictions. So there's a cavern of incarnates. Well, that's something that we'll probably end up going to. There's definitely, has to exist somewhere. Alright, so the other thing that we need to do is go to, what's it called? St. Olms, I think, the canton of St. Olms, and the canton of... no rats, can I sleep? We're gonna go to the canton of St. Olms and try to see if we can speak to the other person that we need to go to speak to. Oh, this is not the right way up. It's this way. Alright, and it's nighttime again. It's always nighttime when I'm in Vivek. Like every time I am out of a building, it's always night, and it's always so dark. Like in the game when I play, it doesn't look that dark, but when I see my stream, it always looks like pitch black. So, oh wait, where am I going? St. Olms, that's right around. Okay, so let's go back this way and find a little what's it called? The canoe guy over here that can just take me to St. Olms, hopefully. This guy over here. Hello. Oh, you take me to Hulalu. Or the arena. Or the Tolani. Take me to the arena? I think from the arena I can get to one of these places. Yeah, see, this is St. Olms. So we can just cross the bridge over here. And... yeah, I see everything really clearly. Like, super clear when I play. But then when I see the stream at night, it looks like pitch black, as if it was all dark. So I actually don't know why that happens. In fact, I waited just now because that confirms that I'm not the only one seeing it that way. So let's see. For this one, we are looking for a deer runner, a Khajiit Thieves Guild operative. So a deer runner. We actually don't know exactly where a deer runner is. A Thieves Guild operative, possibly at a inn. Possibly. So we're gonna go. Let's find see if there's an inn in these areas. Brewers and Fishmongers Hall. Tanners and Miners Hall. Alright, so there is not an inn here. We should go up. Alright, let's go out this way then. And that means St. Domes is one of the ones that has all these like little houses. Let's see if I think up here there is an inn. Ingling Manor. I don't think this is the inn because it would have a little thing floating. Yep. Oop. Hey, Insane Souls, how are you doing? Nope, this is not the inn. North 2. And a haunted manor. Wait, we were thinking there was haunted manor, but it didn't end up being quite as haunted as we thought it was gonna be.
What's your story?
I don't remember what these guys are, but I know they're not Morag tongue.
What do you want?
Turn brightness to max and put sunglasses on.
Speak, traveler.
I can't wear sunglasses when I have to wear my glasses. I decided that I don't want to wear contacts anymore because it gives me like extremely dry eyes for some reason when I use a computer, and since I'm always using a computer, I am always with dry eyes if I'm wearing contacts, and that's very uncomfortable. So this guy we have no idea where we could find. We're gonna have to ask somebody. Miners Hall. Let's see. You're an Imperial guy. I'm looking for a friend of mine, a female Khajiit named Adirnir. Do you know where I can find her? Yes, her name is Adirnir and she's a Khajiit. Do you know where I can find her? No. I see. Well, perhaps some other good citizen can tell me where to find her. Why would you be looking for her? I'm looking for her. Why are you looking for her? You don't have sunglasses with your plus or minus glass values? Yeah, actually, these glasses are actually super old. I actually need to get new ones. But I've been too lazy to do that. So this guy's looking for that Adirnir person. That's kind of interesting. Misivi, Misha, Madavis, don't worry, that can be confusing. Is there some specific place you want, someone in particular you're trying to find? I don't particularly want to ask you about Adirnir. Well, it's probably no better than Kay's old place were awful. Dance's three-legged war was quite a sight, though. You can tell me. Oh, Adirnir, maybe that name does sound a little familiar. For some reason, I just can't seem to remember.
Well,
You were very, very helpful, dude. Wait, you're not in the USA? You don't live in the US? That sneak? She'll be at St. Olm somewhere, although if the heat's on, she may not be parading around in public. Ask around, perhaps someone else has seen her. Well, that's why I'm asking you. The sneak? Alright, so he hasn't seen it either. What about you? What do you know about her? What do you want to with her? Hiding from senses and excise agent, I'll bet.
Outlander, what do you want?
Well, I didn't get my glasses here in the US, so that's a possible reason of why. So where the hell is this Khajiit? Alright, let's go all the way up and go into the... Wait. Looks like... There is no, inn in St. Olms? To go in... I'm sure she's not in one of, like, these huts. Is she? What do you know about Adirnir? Hasn't seen her. Okay, let's go. Check over here and see. Adirnir is what I'm gonna call her. I don't even want to try to pronounce her name properly. Lou. Alright, she hasn't seen it either. Let's see. What do you oh, those are just doors, normal doors. Wait, so maybe if we go around over here. Going around in circles. Yeah, my voice is really messed up from yesterday's streaming. Oh, she hasn't seen her either. Okay. No, I'm not actually thinking about the sunglasses at all. I'm just saying, I didn't get my sunglasses here in the US, so, like, I wouldn't know if they come with, nowadays, if they come with, those sunglasses that turn, those glasses that turn into sunglasses when there's, like, a lot of brightness.
Yes,
I wouldn't
madame,
actually know.
what is it?
Nobody's seen this girl. Or guy. I think it's a guy. Well, that's a Khajiit. He probably knows. Oh, you're also that snake? That's how you're going to talk about a fellow Khajiit? Alright. Let's see. He's a veteran. Hasn't seen him either.
So, where are you?
Let's check out. That's either a Kagoti or an elite. We still haven't familiarized ourselves with them. I run out of run speed. Okay, so we have to go up now. That's actually a good point. It would be a compliment for them because they're always so sneaky. I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you? He is the Lord and Father of Mountain. He sleeps, but when he wakes, we shall rise from our dreams, shall sweep our land clean of the Noir. Why have you denied him? As Lord Agatha said, all shall greet him as flesh or dust. Alright. I think that's the same stuff that the other person after I had my dream, like, yelled at me when I walked past her. Are these like Ashlanders then? Oh, man. Nobody has seen this girl. Alright, I have a feeling they're not gonna tell me anything either. What about you? You're Woodolf. No. Okay, so they're not being very helpful. So, the only other thing is, she could be all the way in the canal works. Thieves, 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 thieves. Thieves are generally in inns. Sometimes they're in weird places too. Go down the canal works. Oh. I went to the wrong side. Alright, let's see. Do you know about a dinner here? Oh! A census and excise agent has been prowling the canton. Fla? And this agent, whose name is Duvianus Platorius, has been showing an interest in Adir. So my guess is that while this census and excise agent is making his appearance, Adir will be hiding in the underworks. So it's pretty good for a kitty, gets her inspiration from the census and excise, I reckon. Look for trapdoors down from the canal works level. Alright, who is this? Census and excise is the imperial agency that collects taxes and tariffs. You know, the taxmen. Their agents also investigate smugglers and other tax cheats. What did you tell me about this guy? He's a census and excise agent and a slick one. I've seen him around here before. Okay. So our hunch was correct, and she would be under these in this places. Where's my night eye? What? I failed. Oh, cause I see. Oh, there she is. Hello. Great, so Kaya says to you, speak with a dinner ear, and you have done this thing, and you're speaking with a dear near. But a dinner ear will not talk to you about the Nerevarine and the Sixth House cult, and because why? Because a dinner ear is at this moment very distracted by a nice census and excise agent who also wants to speak with her. I figured you would want to talk to me. It doesn't come that easy. Anyway. You do know this. There are collectors of the Emperor taxes and tariffs, and the Emperor has outlawed trade in many things, like Dreamer artifacts and ebony, and the census and excise agent will enjoy being a pest about such things, for several reasons. The census and excise agent is not a dinnerier's favorite person. If you want a dinerier to help you, make the bad agent go away, then she will tell you things. Okay, so I just have to make him go away. She doesn't say anything else. I just have to make him go away. Alright. Let's figure out how we're gonna make the guy go away. And we happen to speak with him first. So we know where the guy is. And he is right around over here. Where'd he go? No, where'd he go? Oh, here it is. So let's save in case we mess it up. Right. Yes, as I said, I'm looking for a friend of mine, a female Khajiit named Adira Near. I thought you might be able to tell me where to find her. Yes, her name's Adira Near and she's a Khajiit. Do you know where I can find her? Aha! Lie, yes, she just took a gondola to the mainland. What a disappointment, but thank you for your time. I was just heading back to the mainland myself anyway, and maybe I'll run into her there. Alright, was that all I had to do? Perhaps. Jadenar. Oh, because my fatigue is low. A rat. A bugged rat. There we go. Kill it. Kill it. A dinner is not on this side. Why am I failing to cast a spell so often? I mean, I did have some fatigue. Or some stamina anyway. She's over there. Alright. Let's walk on water. Oh, there's another rat. They're difficult to see. Why am I not hitting it? I got it. There we go. There we go. And kill.
Speak freely.
So you're the one Dinner must thank for getting rid of the annoying census and excise agent. Indeed, a Dinner is very glad to see you and very happy to tell a friend of my good friend Chaos all about the Sixth House cult. And a Dinner knows nothing about the Nerevarine, but a Dinner is happy to tell you that too, if it makes Chaos happy. Ask away, your friend Michu. So what do you know about the Nerevarine? Let's start with what you don't know. She says, yes, Itinerary knows nothing about the Nerevarine cult because it is just a silly superstition, so you can tell Kay is this. Nobody in her right mind pays any attention to this nonsense. Prophecies and ancient heroes reborn and other silliness. Fuzzy tales for little kiddies. Okay. So she just thinks it's just BS. And... oh yeah, don't you have to... okay. Really, you have made the agent go away? This is a good trick, and Itinerary does not ask how you do this trick because Itinerary does not want to know. But Itinerary is feeling quite good and happy to talk to you about... okay. So, let's talk about the Sixth House cult. This Itinerary knows about because it is about smuggling. Some smart smugglers are suddenly too busy for their old clients because they have a new employer, the Sixth House, who pays very well. But what do they smuggle now? Itinerary doesn't know because they're very secret, and this is odd because these smugglers are always loud and bragging, and now they hush up like fat-bellied kitties full of sweet meats. So they're smuggling. Smuggling is big business. The Empire says we can't trade skooma, moon sugar, ebony, dwemer artifacts, exotic Dunmer weapons and armor, and slaves. So smugglers trade these things. Smugglers also smuggle grief, shame, and sujama to avoid imperial tax. And now the Sixth House hires smugglers, though what they smuggle Itinerary cannot say. Could they be smuggling the ash statues that I've collected? And that I know some people have lots of? I wonder. Maybe that's what they do. Did we ask everything you know? Six house cults. You've come from Chaos, and of course who tells you about the itinerary, how she is a friend of Chaos, and who does little things for Chaos, and who is also a member of the Thieves Guild. Not at all important, but very helpful and loyal to fellow guild members. This is just a social club. We'd like the finer things in life. Those who join the club, they must know how to get the finer things in life. We are like other guilds, so we get deals and training on goods and on services. The guild stewards, they know the finer things in life very well and know where to find them. Adina must tell you, though, there is a war between the Thieves Guild and Kimono Tongue. Adina is loyal to the guild, but Adina thinks maybe the guild is losing this war. Oh, really? It's not nice. So did we ask about the Nerevarine? I thought we did. Yeah, we asked about Nerevarine. The census excise agent. The Sixth House, and we asked about smuggling. So that's all she knows? Okay. Okay. Alright, so that's all she knows about this. So now we need to go find that Milo girl, or Milo girl, at the temple. We're gonna go do that. St. Dome's, well, the temple's right here, so we don't need to actually travel too far.
What is it, citizen?
What is it, citizen? I should have taken the other. I can see that now, but yeah, whatever. I took the long way to the temple. Alright, so remember she said it's the Hall of Wisdom and the Hall of Justice, so it can be either or. But we cannot ask anybody about her because we do not want people to think that she's talking to...
Yes.
Oh! We found her! We didn't have to go searching the entire place. That's awesome. Alright. Mira Milo. Yes, a Mira Milo case sent to you. Follow me into the back of the library. We can talk there. Okay. Need to Indriela's house. Why did I just see this now? Did I get a house? Go ahead, I'm afraid I don't know anything about Sixth House cult, but I can tell you about the Nerevarine cult. The temple worships Nerevar as a saint and hero, but prophecies of his reincarnation are punished as wicked heresy. The Nerevarine claims the tribunal are false gods, hence the temple's persecution of the Nerevarine cult. A group called the Dissident Priests disputes the temple doctrine on the Nerevarine prophecies. The proscribed book, Progress of Truth, describes their beliefs. Get a copy of Progress of Truth for Chaos Calistates. That will tell him things that he needs to know about the Nerevarine cult. Progress of Truth. I also saw that book at Drabash's bookstore, actually. This book leads to disputes of the dissident priests, the tribunal temple doctrines. The temple has outlawed the sale or possession of the book, so it will be hard to find. We have a copy here, but I fear I'm being watched by ordinators. Here. A safer plan would be to search local booksellers. Some booksellers ignore temple bans on outlawed books for profits or for principles. Watched by ordinators. I do not care for temple politics, but I have read Progress of Truth and it troubles me. I have friends, former priests, who have gone into hiding, so I'm bound to come to the attention of the ordinators. I am careful, but I'm afraid I am no secret agent, like you or Chaos. Sooner or later, I too must go into hiding if it's not too late. When you return to Chaos, tell him I'm worried and that if something goes wrong, I will leave a message under the agreed code word Amaya. Oh, that's bad. Hopefully she's gonna be okay. So, what do you know about the persecution of the Nerevarine? It's an Ashlander cult, primitive superstitions as a temple. Nerevarine say the temple are false gods. I've never understood why temple wastes so much energy on them. The faithful cannot be shaken by such attacks, and the Ashlanders are just ignorant savages. But since the submission of the temple to the Empire and the erosion of faith among the Dunmer, the militant wing of the temple is increasingly fierce in its attacks on heretics and heathens. Huh. Okay, so what are the dissident priests? The dissident priests dispute temple doctrines and are outlawed and persecuted by the temple. Ordinators arrest and imprison heretics, and the Empire cannot interfere. Progress of Truth leads their beliefs, and in brief, they challenge the purity and divinity of the tribunal, suggesting their powers are sorcerous, not divine, and perhaps akin to the powers of Dagoth-Ur. They also condemn the arbitrary power of the Ordinators. They accuse the temple hierarchy of self-interest and corruption. Why does the temple persecute the dissident priests? Because attacks the temple weaken the faith and leave the people defenseless against the influences of Dagoth-Ur. Faith is what strengthens the will of the believer against Dagoth-Ur's lies. Faith is a source of divine power that sustains the tribunal in their battle with Dagoth-Ur. Since the Empire, some Dunmer have turned away from the temple. That's why Dagoth-Ur grows stronger, why blight storms and monsters threaten the land. Since the Empire, some Dunmer have turned away from the temple. Ah. So let's ask about the Nerevarine prophecies. The Ashlanders have a mystical tradition of interpreting dreams and visions as prophecies. These prophecies are recorded in verse and may be lost or garbled over the generations, but the dissident priests have collected many ancient prophecies of the Nerevarine, many of which they believe to be genuine. Collectively, these are called the lost prophecies of the incarnate. One of the sacred missions of the dissident priests is the collection and study of these prophecies. Huh. So we're learning about the Nerevarine. think we asked everything. What do you say? Oh yeah, we asked about the Nerevarine cult already. Can I ask you about disturbing dreams? Actually, I'm going to save before I do that, and I'm going to do a backup save too. Get a copy of Progress and Truth and actually tell him the things he needs to know about the Nerevarine cult. Is there anything else you want to ask me about? Yes. That means nothing to me. Perhaps you wouldn't know, but the temple regards disturbing dreams as a sign of soul sickness, a sign that the mind is deranged by impure impulses and dangerous feelings. The Ashlanders have many superstitions about dreams, but they have superstitions about everything. Soul sickness is called madness or insanity in the Empire. Signs of soul sickness are strange dreams, uncontrollable impulses, and cruel and evil deeds. Madness is not a disease, as Westerners believe, for if it were, it may be cured by blessings and healers. Soul sickness is a curse of Dagoth-Ur, who sends dark dreams to attack the weak of faith in their sleep. Those strong in faith can resist, those weak in faith must seek counsel from the temple. Ah. Well, now. So, my thoughts. So, what's going on in my head right now? I'm actually connecting a couple of dots, and maybe that's why. So, Kaya's Kosades works, obviously, for the Empire. I work for the Empire. Right? The Empire is a temple, a tribunal temple. Right? That's what I think we're doing. And, I'm starting to put these in, like, the perspective of the houses. The Empire... I don't know. I mean, I think the Empire likes all the houses. He doesn't really care about any of the houses, to be honest. That's my thinking. But anyway, let's continue with this. Is she going to leave this area? Because I found this and I want to grab it. Cantatas of Evac. Uh-oh. Did we get stuck? No, there we go. Alright. Why didn't I see this before? D to Indrella's house. Five Songs of Wolf Hearth. It's a new one.
Do you have something to say, Outlander?
Brothers of Darkness. Brief History of the Empire. Yes, I do want to kill the Archmage from the Telvanni. I feel like he's not a good one. I want to be the Archmage. He cannot be the Archmage. Actually, it would be Archmagister. Archmage, I think, is what you become when you get the highest rank in the Mages Guild. I know Jabasha has a book that she was telling me to get. What number is this? This is Sermon 27. I think I don't have this one. Mysterious Akavir. Biography of the Verenzaya. Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. Progress of Truth.